yeah. Did you, when you first encounter other travelers, did you bristle at this sort of break in your solitude?
Right.
And how did you sort of react once you kind of got to know them?
Yeah, so I set out on this, this epic adventure of mine, and I was thinking, I'm going to do this on my own. I am, the mountain man. That man there is obviously packed one thing only, and that's the whiskey. But yeah, no, I set out, and I was like, I want to do this. I kind of playing a role, right? Playing the adventurer, and I wanted to be in this solitude, and I was reflecting upon the journey and upon my life on the way. I was recording voice notes. I recorded over 300 of these rambling voice notes, which go from, talking about how the day is, the weather, the experience, to talking to my father, to talking to trees, to talking to mushrooms, to losing my mind. And then suddenly I met people along the way. And at first, the first person I met was Graham, who features in the book. And he was this terrifying-looking Viking of a man, like shaved side of his head, ponytail, big long beard. He looked like he'd been in the military. He had all the gear. He was kind of staring at me on a rock. And the first thing he said to me was, "I saw your movie. It was shit." Or something along those lines. But he basically said he saw my SAS movie and thought it was a lot of crap. So things got off really well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye. And you'll find out in the book. But basically, we kept crossing paths a little bit, and I was really struggling. It was the day two, end of day two. Night fell. I was still about 10 miles from my ultimate goal. It was pitch black, and we decided to walk together. And I won't give away too much, but we got through it together, and our paths may have crossed again. And later on in the journey as well, towards the very end, the last day, as I neared Ben Nevis, my ultimate goal, I met someone else, Lucy, who is an incredible character, and she has actually some of her top 10 tips for surviving the West Highland Way are in the book as well.
On that second night, you're really considering just packing it up.
Yeah.
Going home.
Yeah.
And you reach out, as one does, to your support system, to your friends, and they give you some great words of encouragement.
I didn't text you, did I?
No, I'm not a very encouraging person. No. And neither are your friends, because their responses were, WTF, Sam, and don't be a loser.
Yeah, canceled.
And that's really where the kind of texting in this story stops. But I would love to know throughout the journey, especially at the points where you're struggling, did you reach out again?
Not to that person.
No. And did you get any other encouragement?
Yeah, so I did. So end of day two, and I really was done. I brought everything with me, far too much stuff. I'd packed everything. I'd gone the day before to the outdoor center and bought, those stupid hiking sticks, which are brilliant, by the way.
They were the hero of that excerpt.
They saved my life.
You read, yeah.
Gas stoves and all the gear and boots and extra socks. And I was carrying way too much stuff, and I was dying on this walk, and it was really painful, and I wasn't enjoying myself at all. And so after the day two epic odyssey with Graham, I finally found myself at the Drover's Inn, which is a very old inn that's actually haunted on the side of Loch Lomond. And it used to be where the drovers, they were the people that would drive the cattle from one town to the Highlands, or from the Highlands into Glasgow or Edinburgh to sell the cattle, way back in the 1800s. It was this ancient old pub. And I got there and I was like, please give me a room, please. And a typical Scottish welcome, they were like, no. And I begged, and they finally let me stay the night. But yeah, I was honestly lying in the bed there. Everything was drenched, my sleeping bag, all of my spare clothes, my kit. And I was just like, I can't do this. And I was like, if I just go home, just call a taxi or a friend or something, I could just go home and be in bed, and no one will ever know. No one will ever know. So I decided to sleep on it and see how I felt in the morning. And in the morning, I don't know, something in me I just realized, no, actually, what am I doing? Like, I should just approach this challenge in a different way. So I dumped everything and carried on.
Yeah. What